Do you owe the IRS, or maybe you're one of the lucky ones getting some money back? Either way, tax season is here, and there are some important changes to be very mindful of. Joining us this morning is the president and CEO, Cathy DeWitt Dunn from DeWitt Dunn Financial Services, with more on what you need to know before you file. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Leo. Thank you for having me this morning.
Glad to have you. All right, so why do we need to be thinking about tax planning year-round?
Oh, well, we should be thinking about it year-round every single year.
Oof.
But by planning ahead of time, what's going to happen is that you're going to get a better situation and feel for how much money you owe. And then by planning, maybe you're going to be able to reduce your tax obligation, which is going to put more money in your pocket later down the road.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Cathy, what are the major changes that we should look out for when filing our taxes this year?
Yeah, there's four major changes this year. One, which I'm really sad to say, has gone away, but the child tax credit was a fabulous blessing to many families throughout the United States. Previously, we had a $2,000 deduction, but due to this child tax credit for year 2021, that was increased, and the range was between $3,000 to $3,600, depending upon the age of the child, for low and middle income families. So the blessing on that was the fact that the government went ahead and made those monthly payments to many families. And that really helped out a lot of people during this pandemic. But now the challenge is now we have to account for it. So if you've received those benefits, you cannot deduct this off of your income tax. And also, if you made more money in 2021 than perhaps you thought, you may have to pay that back. So the great news is the IRS is always wonderful. They're going to send us a summary of benefits of where we are and what our position is as far as, do we need to pay back some of that money, or are we okay? But I just recommend for all the filers out there that receive the child tax credit that they go ahead and look at those numbers so they won't be caught off guard. Also, the standard deduction has increased once again for 2021. And for married couples filing jointly, that's increased to $25,100. And for single filers and also for married individuals that are filing separately, that increased to $12,550. And for heads of household for 2021, the standard deduction went up to $18,800. So which one should you use with your tax situation?
Right.
I recommend running the numbers both ways to see which produces the lower tax bill. Also, tax brackets. The IRS every single year increases that to keep for inflation. So that means you may be in a different tax bracket this year, and you also may be paying a different tax rate. So if you have any concerns of where you are with the tax law, you probably want to talk to your financial advisor or your tax professional. And also charitable giving. It's great, but did you keep your receipts? So the biggest thing is that that standard deduction went from $300 to married couples filing jointly to $600, but just make sure you paid it directly to a qualifying charity and that you have your receipts, whether it was cash, check, credit card, and you paid directly to the charity.
Oh, Cathy, you're on a roll. Before we go here, really quick, what about write-offs? Some people have been working at home. Can they do anything with that? And then with masks and hand sanitizer, I heard you can write that off if it's a certain amount.
Correct. I mean, those are all great questions, but the biggest question I get from a lot of people is, I work from home. Well, the question is, are you self-employed and running your business out of your home, or are you just an employee? If you're self-employed, you can write that off. But if you're an employee also that's telecommuting, one of the challenges going to be is, where have you been telecommuting? How many days? You may have to have withholding on that money, and you may have to pay non-resident income. So this is very important if you're telecommuting, to work with a tax professional to make sure that you have paid the IRS correctly.
You covered a lot, Cathy. Thank you so much. Great insight.
Well, if anybody has any questions, feel free to text me at DeWitt Dunn and I'll get back with you.
Perfect. Cathy, thank you so much for joining us.
Have a great day. Thanks for having me.
Of course.